Ever since the existence of media, there have always been people who've considered themselves fans of certain activities or arts. And now with the rise in popularity of the internet, it's become much more streamlined for people to share their interests with the world, as well as finding other individuals who have the same ones as they do. So nowadays, instead of having to go to some club and socializing with other people who may have similar interests, you can just go on a website like Twitter or Reddit and find people there. Though, if you've been on the internet for the past few years, you'll know that fan bases have become quite the controversial topic. Whether it be from the people a part of them performing outrageous acts either on or offline, harassing others, or just being flat out social menaces, there are more reasons why people say they don't enjoy something like Steven Universe or Rick and Morty. Not for being bad shows themselves, but because of what the people in their fandoms have done. And what really sucks is that the image of a lot of these communities online are controlled by the overly vocal minority who do more harm than good, instead of the vast amount of talented people that try to contribute to the legacy of what they love. But sometimes that's not the case. More often than not, there will be a fan base that instead of severely damages the reputation of what they enjoy, come together and manage to do amazing things to show other people how much this means to them. Take for example TF2. The game is 10 years old, and over that time the game was kept alive thanks to the community surrounding it. I mean, yeah, sure, Valve adding new weapons and maps to the game every now and then does help, but the community has been responsible for things like reporting bugs and glitches, giving feedback on balance changes, creating their own maps and weapons, and even making a competitive scene possible. And yeah, while TF2 may have been an easy choice, it's a prime example of what happens when a fan base bands together to give what they're passionate about the respect it deserves. And the reason this is the topic of today's video is because Valve fans from all around the world managed to share an overwhelming amount of love and support to keep one of the most influential web series of all time from ending in disgrace. That show in particular being Eddsworld. Originally created by the late Ed Gould in 2004, Eddsworld first began as a passion project on Newgrounds, which at the time was the best site for artists to share their work with other people. But the show would really take off after making the jump to YouTube. And since then, the series has gone on to achieve widespread acclaim and be recognized as one of the biggest staples in internet animation history. And it wasn't because the show was a groundbreaking masterpiece that set the bar for other artists online. It's because of how much of an impact this series, as well as Ed himself, had on other people. What many fans loved about Ed was how he always put them first before anything else when it came to the show. Entertainment was his top priority, and did everything in his power to prevent something from happening to the show that may hinder their viewing experience. It's been said that Ed turned down many opportunities he was given from the show, as well as having the chance to put Eddsworld on TV just because he thought it would deprive him from his fans. And that shows true dedication above all else. To deny having the chance to become famous due to fear of the outcome. It really puts into perspective the type of person Ed was. He was an incredibly humble and down-to-earth guy who loved what he did, and wanted others to as well. However, like the old saying goes, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away people who are actually trying to make the world a better place. Ed was diagnosed with leukemia in 2011, and although he managed to fight it off once before a few years prior, this time it got the best of him, and sadly, he died earlier the next year. But just because he was gone, it didn't mean the end for Eddsworld. And this is where the main topic of this video about fan bases doing more good than harm really comes into play. Ed wanted the series to continue without him, and while his loss would result in a massive hit to the show, his friends were willing to carry out his wish. So to compensate for his departure came Eddsworld Legacy, a fundraiser that allowed fans to show their support so the show could continue. And although it did have some problems with its reward system, what came out of it was incredible. For starters, a whole new season of episodes, with a much higher production scale as well as multiple different artists taking the lead for animating, giving the show many more unique art styles that would have probably never been explored before. Sure, not all of them were perfect, but you could tell there was still a lot of effort put into them. The fundraiser allowed the crew to make enough money to keep the show running, while using all the earnings made off of Eddsworld to help fund cancer research, as a way to help those who were suffering from the same disease Ed was. Eddsworld has always been so much more than just a cartoon, because of everything it managed to do throughout its run, like inspiring others to pursue themselves, using all of its profits for charity, and managing to bring other artists together to keep the series alive. With all of the different accolades the show has achieved, it proves how much a phenomenon it is, and its continuation would have never been possible if it weren't for all of these different people coming together in honor of Ed himself. And while the show may seem like it reached its end, it's not going to be gone for much longer. In addition to the revival of the Eddsworld website and comic series, it's been confirmed by Matt that the show will be returning soon. done. So the show's future looks pretty bright, and it's all thanks to everything Ed did to bring this community together, who all didn't want to see his work end with him. Whether it be from donating to the Legacy fundraiser, sharing fan art, or continued viewership throughout the years, every fan has helped, and it's shown to have gone a long way. So to quote Tom, Ed may be gone, but his world will keep on spinning.